All right, we're just going to look at a little bit of Numbers today, and it's the first 14 verses of Numbers chapter 9. And it's the second Passover that the nation of Israel is celebrating. This is now 1 year removed from those events in Exodus. And so the people are in the wilderness. It's coming up to this time to celebrate Passover again because it was established as an annual festival, an annual remembrance. And there's an issue. There were some amongst the people who they'd had to touch a dead body. They were ritually unclean. Now, again, I keep mentioning this. They weren't sinful. They weren't morally unclean, from touching a dead body. They were ritually unclean. To approach the God who is the author of life and be associated with death, that just didn't do. And so they came to Moses and said, look, we're ritually unclean and we want to participate in Passover. How do we do this? Because they didn't want to approach inappropriately. They probably knew what had happened to Aaron's sons. And so they're coming to Moses, look, we don't want to miss this. We want to participate in this remembrance. This is important to us. Yahweh is important to us. And so we don't want to go against that command. Moses goes, I don't know, which I love. I mean, he wasn't the answer man for everything, and he knew it, at least in this case, and he goes to God to get direction. And so this also I love, because what it shows us in part is God is not about following rules. God is about holiness. God wants his people to be holy, because only when we are holy are we reflecting him. And again, that's not our performing our way into this. That's our obeying what God has called us to be. And that will allow him to reflect himself, shine himself through us. So Moses goes to God. God says, hey, look, let's make a second time for them. And so there's a later time when these individuals could be, okay, we know that's time's coming up. If something would happen, for example, maybe that would cause them to need to become ritually unclean. Maybe there was another dead body in kind of their household or their environment. Those who had participated already, because I got it, you guys, stay away so that you can participate. And so I think here it's kind of implied in the text is there'd be this community working together. But notice verse 14. An alien, stranger, foreigner, someone who's not a native ethnic Israelite, an alien among you who wants to celebrate the Lord's Passover must do so in accordance with its rules and regulations. You must have the same regulations for the alien and the native born. And again, here we see God inviting the nations to come, not on their terms. We always approach God on his terms. He's God, we're not. But this welcome to the nations, which to me, again, we're going to see as we get into the prophets, and we will get into the prophets. We'll see God's call for the nations to come, that the nations would come to worship, and it's already here. And so this brings up all sorts of kind of great ideas and dynamics for us to kind of chew on. And how do we participate in what God has called us to do and to be without compromising? And that can be a hard line to know. That's why God has put us in community. We can work with one another, talk with one another, cooperate with one another to help each other follow Jesus more fully. I'm not sure what all that may cause you to chew on today. So as you do, if ever there's questions, get a hold of me, faithfulquestions@gmail.com, or contact me directly. But may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you. May the Lord be gracious to you. And today would you know his peace. God bless.